We are back today at the Terrence Bay boat dock. I'm going to go exploring for boulders. I know everybody is excited to see episode 4 of Grip Gains, but this is the more important aspect of your training, which is keeping your motivation high. Consistency is the number one factor above all else when it comes to having success in your training for climbing. And what motivates me is finding new, beautiful boulders to climb on. So when it comes to exploring for boulders, it's not as glamorous as a lot of people think. New climbers often have, dreams of going out into the unexplored wilderness and finding amazing climbs and new classics. Most of the time you find nothing. So we'll see how it goes today, but I won't get discouraged. All right, let's get it going. Coming out of the mouth of the Terrence Bay River out into the open ocean. This time of the year, it's lobster season, so I gotta watch out. There's traps everywhere. The lines on the traps are surprisingly long. Even when you're aware, you can still snag the occasional one. You can always tell. I watch the traps as I pass them by, and if the trap starts moving towards your boat, then you've got it underneath your engine shaft. It's a cold day today. The Vizslas are hunkered down inside the boat for shelter. So I brought their blankets and they get down out of the wind there. What I'm gonna do is I'm gonna take the boat down the coastline. There's an area of interest where I've drone scouted, so I know there's boulders. I'm gonna try and sight them from the boat and then look for a spot to put in, and then we'll hike in and scope them up close. There's no substitute for going in on ground and looking at the boulders up close, because you can't really tell scale from the air, and it's also hard to tell if there's any overhanging features that you could be missing. So it's always worth going in and having a look. I see a very promising looking boulder peeking out of the trees. You can see you can see a pretty huge boulder just peeking out of those trees in that rocky headland. So that's pretty promising for the first stop for today. And there's a couple of boulders I can see sort of peeking out of the trees along the way. So I think what we'll do is we'll walk this entire coastline. And I just got to make a mental note of where I can see boulders, because it's a lot harder to appreciate sometimes when you're hiking closer to the trees. I'm not going to be able to put in directly underneath the boulder, so I'm going to backtrack and put it at the nearest sort of sheltered cove where it looks calm. Get out. I found a great spot to put the boat in. Really nice, calm inlet, sheltered from the ocean by this giant pile of rocks beside us. It's going to be a little bit of a hike down the coast to get to the boulders that I scoped. The sun is now poking out, so it's turning into quite a nice day just to be out here on the water. And even if I don't find anything, which is usually 99% of exploring sessions, where else would I rather be? Go on, sweetie. There's not going to be any lineups at the Proj out in this area. I'm hiking along the coastline here, and the views are spectacular. Dogs are having a good play. And I've found some boulder potential in this hillside here. The issue is it doesn't look spectacular, at least from where I'm standing. And this kind of an approach really needs the boulder to be top tier, or else it's not worth developing. If I find something super quality in some of the other spots that I'm going to check, then I would go back and check those out, because once you have something in the area that is worth the trip, then developing the surrounding boulders becomes kind of a fun thing to do after you get tired out on the proj. So I'm going to put those guys on hold for now, and going to carry on forward to the main potential that I scoped. I've hiked this coastline before, and it's a bit of a scramble the whole way. Too bad about the landing on this one. That is a spectacular overhanging face with a beautiful vertical crack running up the whole length of it, but even at low tide, you're not going to have a landing, so that's unfortunate. Now that's interesting block. We're going to have to go look at it. Wow, she's big. She's big. Oh, wow. That is fucking cool. This is fucking cool. There is a giant roof seam in this cave. And it comes all the way out from the back wall of the cave. This boulder is not what I came for, but it is really, really cool looking. It's an absolute monster of a boulder. And at first I thought, you know, there's not going to be any lines here. When I look more closely, there is a seam out this entire cave, and then a difficult sequence here, but with holds that are sort of facing the wrong way. Once you turn the lip there, the top out is extremely high with not a great landing, but honestly, I think once you turn that lip and you fight your way up into that scoop, the top out's just a victory lap. Rehearse that on a rope, I'd have no trouble doing that. So, wow, what a cool boulder. Let's go inside there and I'll show you the holds. Also, this cave is big. Just for scale, I can fully stand up in here. A lot of the times we find something like this and it's a real butt dragger, but this is comfortably off the ground. You almost never get holds on a granite roof, but check this out. A wicked seam the whole way out. It's very rounded. A lot worse than it looks. It looks huge, but it's actually going to be extremely difficult because it's smooth from the ocean and very rounded. So you're going to have to find sweet spots, work your way down. It's quite long. It'll be a bunch of moves. Excellent hold here, which you're going to need because the transition to the lip looks difficult. Get set up here. And then exit the cave, and there's all sorts of hold potential, sort of all of it difficult. Edges, side pulls, slopers, until finally that jug right up there. Very cool. Alrighty, so up next, we're gonna head inland and scope the big boulder that I could see from the ocean. So ocean is right there. That's where we were earlier today. Now we're gonna head up the hill here and see what's up there. So I'm not gonna be able to complain about this exploring session though. Finding even one boulder is way above average. Most of the time it's savage bushwhacking. Oh boy, I'm getting distracted here. Okay. We're back in the bush. Oh, yeah. Oh, this fucking sucks. Oh, fuck. Well, I see granite. I don't know if that's the boulder I'm after, but I see a big wall. Whoa! Oh, fell in a hole. Fucking hell. Yeah, that happens. Yeah. Falling in holes. There's some granite in front of me here. It's big. Like, real big. Whoa, she big. Cool. Yeah. So, very cool. That is a nice looking line. Look at this. That is a tall, that's a beautiful highball, and it's got a flake with a seam the whole way up. I found another big piece of rock that I could see from the ocean. This is one of the bigger ones. It's almost too big to be boulder climbing, but I think as a boulder, it'll be bold and spectacular. There's a good flake that runs the entire way up this thing. As a rope climb, it'll be very meh. So anybody who sees this, don't tell the rope climbers about this place. They'll come, put 2 bolts in, and ruin what would be a bold and cool boulder by making it a rope climb. This is gonna have to go though. This is a classic Nova Scotia punji stick, where a lot of our landings tend to have these underneath them in their natural form. So in the old days, the fellows wouldn't take care of these. They would just get her done. Got to check around this area. A lot of times you have these big faces, and then nearby there's a boulder that's broken off, and that's where you find the real gem. So, hi, sweetie. Oh yeah. Okay, so we're coming around the outcrop, and as predicted, we've got 2 freestanding boulders. So let's check these bad boys out. This is often the way. Oh, well that's a promising looking boulder. There's another one off to my left. But oh yeah. Well, that's a nice looking block right there. So the angles are good. Half the time it's just a slab. You don't even have to check any further. It's just immediate disappointment. Whereas in this case, we've got a good angle. She's got some flakes and some features. Well, we got a line. There's already a line, so this is a pretty cool looking line here. All right, so we've definitely got some holds. We've got a nice angle, it's overhanging. We've got big feature up into this, nice seam, and then just what looks to be a pretty chill top out. So definitely a line worth doing. Not a line worth developing the area for, but let's keep working our way around this boulder and see what else we've got. We've got a little mini roof here on the front. So we've got an overhanging prow. We're gonna drop down this hill, get down back to the ocean, and then head back towards the boat. Bonus round. I was hiking back to the boat and I saw a boulder peeking out of the forest, and I couldn't help but go look, even though it's getting dark and desperate. But I think this is the find of the trip. Holy smokes. This is a boulder. Wow. Yeah, crazy. So this is a huge boulder set into the hillside here. And what we've got is a perfectly geometric seam. So there's two lines here. So we've got a thin seam, and it is really difficult and really tall, that runs the entire width of this face. And then there's another line that goes straight up a feature here. It's the most spectacular find of the entire time. Look at the size of this thing. This face is overhanging. You won't show on the video, but it's an overhanging face. And this finger seam is like wicked bad holds for 20 feet of super bold finger seam climbing. A rail above my head that goes all the way to the tallest point of this mega boulder. Holy shit. There's also a vertical crack here. I mean, we're talking this isn't over a 20 footer. This is wild. Holy smokes. Look at this thing. That crack is 20 feet long at least, and it is really difficult climbing. These are slopey, but it's got good sweet spots the entire way. And then above me is a seam. Big holds, goes the whole way, but you're gonna have to climb into it from this seam here. And then finally, down at the end of this wall, there is this absolutely beautiful seam. Look at this. Look at the quality of that. Look how tall it is. I think you can appreciate that it is in fact overhanging. Well, actually, it is overhanging up to a pretty significant degree. Given how hard those holds are, this degree of overhang, this is going to be quite a challenging line. And the landing is perfect, and it's right beside the boat dock. Oh my goodness. Today went from like an okay day, I found some stuff, to like, holy smokes. Unbelievable. Wow. So here's that vertical crack, and the top is, I can't get it in one shot. Wow, look at that. Well, I for real have to get out of here, but was not expecting that. What a find. Oh my, and we are literally right by the boat. If I walk another 5 meters this way, you can see we've got presidential parking for this project. There's the boat, and there's that giant ass boulder. Spectacular. Vizslas have had enough of this adventure. They are cuddled up under their blanket. Look at this, that's adorable. Woo! All right, let's get out of here.